In 1972, 85% of husbands were the primary breadwinner. In 1972, egalitarian was only 11% husband and wives, and wives were only 5%. Remember, this was only 50.
So going back to that graph, so you're saying that men all through this time since 1972 through now are still the main breadwinners. Yeah, I don't see it. Not my generation. Welcome to my channel. And today we're going to talk about, do alpha women destroy marriages? Now, you're asking me, why are we talking about marriage and relationships if we're talking about a finance? You, Ronald, you're always talking about finance. Why did you decide to deviate to finance to relationships? And here's why. Because it all mingles. Let's say you do have the woman runs the household that manage the finance. That makes more than you as a man. And she makes all the decisions. Well, they kind of play a role. Let's say as a man, let's say your woman does make more money than you, but she's not making the best decisions. You're telling her, hey, I need to do this with your money, to put this way. And you're saying that, and she's saying, no, I don't want to do that. I want to do what I want to do with my money because I make the money. And you're going to be in a bit of a trouble because at the end of the day, I know this is controversial and I'm going to say it, but whoever makes the most money is usually the strongest, the alpha in a relationship. And that's how most people will look at it. You're a bill collector, your people that finance, your loans, especially if you're doing together. But yes, I understand everything's together. But at the end of the day, that does play a role. Now, you have to ask yourself, are you okay being with the alpha woman? And personally, in my opinion, there are some alpha women out there, but they're not alpha all the time, especially if you're a man with principle and discipline. You think really women, they're just being themselves. And at the end of the day, a woman wants to see a leadership. They don't want to see a boy. And if a woman knows that you're a man, she's going to fall in line, no matter if she's always taking the lead or not. And at the end of the day, that's what women really want, for you guys to take the lead, have a vision, have a future. And if you're working towards it, that's the sign of a real man, and not being swayed by other people. So let's just get to the video.
So do marriages fail when the wife is the alpha? And why do I ask this question for you? Because this last weekend, we're at the Vault Conference. Nearly 6,000 people in the room. The Rock is there. We're having a great time. People showing up from 100 plus countries. It's an incredible event. And at one moment, I won't show the video. I won't even talk about who the person is. But everybody has the ability to grab the mic and talk about if they had a breakthrough. A lady gets up there and she says, we talk about all this stuff, but I want my husband to have a breakthrough because I'm tired of being the breadwinner. I'm tired. I want him to make more money. I want him to do this. And I've always been providing, and I've been working, and I've been doing this. And we're all listening to this. And we're like, whoa, very uncomfortable, because I thought for a fact her husband's not going to be in the room. I said, but are you here with your husband? I am. I said, does your husband have your permission to speak? Everybody kind of looks at her. And I said, here's all I'll say. I'll give you 5 seconds, sir. I don't know who he is because I don't know where he's sitting. And she kind of looks to her left, but I don't know where it's sitting because they're pointing. I said, I'll give you 5 seconds if you want to speak. If not, I'm going to move on because I don't want to put you on the spotlight. I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He doesn't stand up. I said, no problem. Marriage is hard. It's not easy. Do your thing. We'll move on. And the next, topic of discussion, I said, if you guys want to open up the next day and talk about it, we'll be here. If you don't, totally get it as well. Next day, they don't come to the mic. Everybody was waiting for it. Everybody knew. Nothing happens. We continue.
Wow. That's crazy, though. I mean, honestly, I feel like as a man, he should have stepped up, in my opinion, and say, hey, what's going on? But I get it also, too. They don't want to talk about their private business in front of everyone else. And I get it. But at the end of the day, she kind of disrespected him in that way, too. I felt like that could have been done more in public. But I mean, as Patrick Bet-David said, hey, marriage is hard. Honestly, not marriage is hard. Being in a relationship with people is hard itself. So it's tough. It is a tough deal.
So Then the conversation starts. Well, we're going to dinner. Does it work? Does it not work? I don't know. This is not about this. It's not about what's wrong with that. What's wrong if the woman's alpha and all this other stuff? Look, I got a bunch of different data for you. 70% of divorces are initiated by the wife. I got some data and I got some points on if it's a good idea or not. And at the end of the day, if you agree with me, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. If you don't agree with me, comment below and let us know how you feel. All right, so let me show you some data here from 1972 till 2022, husbands being the main breadwinner, wives being the main breadwinner, and egalitarian, which means the husband and the wife make 40 to 60% of the household income together. And if those statistics have gone up, have gone down, what it looks like. So here's what it looks like. The black are husband's primary or sole breadwinner, okay? Pink is egalitarian. They both make money. Yellow is wife as the primary or sole breadwinner of the household. In 1972, 85% of husbands were the primary breadwinner. In 1972, egalitarian was only 11% husband and wives, and wives were only 5%. Remember, this was only 50.
So going back to that graph, so you're saying that men all through this time since 1972 through now are still the main breadwinners. Yeah, I don't see it. Not in my generation. I don't. So I see it mostly in my generation as a millennial that the man and the woman are making money together. They both work to provide the house and they have an income together as one. That's what they call 50-50. Does not mean 50-50 on everything, but they're both bringing income to the marriage, whereas the guy just brings all the income and not the woman. And at the end of the day, and then the other way around. And usually, I'm not going to say my opinion on that, but I believe in co-income. Bringing two income is better than one, especially during this time, because everything is expensive. You don't live like the 1%. I don't live like the 1%. That is not my life. Maybe one of these days when I get there, but at the end of the day, I want my wife to work anyways. Like, do something she's fun. I want her to sit in the house. Like, yeah, she loves cooking and cleaning and, being helping the kids out. Hey, I'll let her do it. But I've come to find out not a lot of women really like that, especially my generation as a millennial. No, they don't.
52 years ago. Fast forward to today, husbands dropped 30% from 85% to 55%. They lost 30%. That's a lot right there, right? Egalitarian went from 11% to 29%. That means a third of marriages, both the husband and the wife makes the same amount of money, but the wives went from 5% to 18%, nearly 4x, making more money than the husbands do as the main breadwinner. Somebody may say, what's wrong with that? We want equality. We want this. We want that. Now,
well, I would not call that equality, but hey, that's just on you. If you want to build with a woman that makes more money than you as a man, that's all right. There's nothing wrong with it. That's what I'm saying too. So I actually disagree with what he's actually saying.
Now, according to Forbes Advisor, these are the reasons why people get married and also different reasons why people get divorced. Marriage, number one. Financial security, 42%. Then
financial security is meaning that both parties are not knowledgeable about finance. One of them likes to spend, other one likes to save a lot. And typically you got to know that while they're in the marriage. Honestly, they should know that before they got even married. At the end of the day, you need to be with someone that fits your financial IQ or, in the middle of it. If you like to spend, get with someone that likes to spend. If you like to save, get someone that likes to save. But that's knowing where you are, who you are as a person. Don't like me. I don't like really spending much money, but I like saving, but I like also having a good time. So I'm more in the middle. I do like spending money on experiences. So I need someone that will also spend a lot of money on experiences instead of just hoarding money like it's no tomorrow. So there's a balance to everything.
It's companionship. Then love, formal act of making a commitment to start a family, convenience, medical insurance, legal reasons, societal or family pressures. Now, these are the reasons and factors why there's a divorce. Lack of family support, infidelity, lack of compatibility, lack of intimacy, too much conflict or arguing, financial stress, lack of commitment, parenting differences, marrying too young, opposing values or morals, substance abuse, domestic violence.
In which all of the things come to downing, knowing your partner, saying that before you get married, is this going to work out? And usually people get with the person that's usually wrong for them, that will settle for less because, oh, this guy's giving me attention. And at the end of the day, we need to stop that. We need to stop selling for less and going after the people who we know that is better for us. And that means knowing ourselves, talking to a lot of men, a lot of women. I'm men for the ladies. That's what I'm referring to. But hey, it's okay because these are the factors. And the most important thing that he's not even talking about is communication. Communication is a very important to relationship plus marriages too.
And last but not least, pursuing different lifestyles. So ladies, you may want to do woosah or earmuffs if you don't want to watch it or skip the video because you're going to get pissed off. I'm going to read you a letter. Okay. This is an article from Glamour. It's an open letter. And the title of this article says an open letter from an alpha woman unable to love. Okay. So you read this article. This is written by a lady named Suzanne Venker, who wrote a book called The Alpha Female's Guide to Men and Marriage, is what she talks about. So the writer of this article, Elizabeth Logan, wrote this 7 years ago. I'll read you the second paragraph. She says, Venker's thesis is that marriages don't work when one partner, namely the woman, is demanding, unyielding, and unable to be pleased by anything the other partner does. And sure, don't be an asshole to your spouse, might seem like a basic tenet of marriage, but Venker explains this is actually a big problem with our current generation that needs to be addressed right now. Why? Because women, having been groomed to be leaders rather than to be wives, those leadership qualities like being bossy, demanding, which will definitely help you to get ahead in the office, are apparently antithetical to the three things that Venker says makes a good marriage: respect, compromise, and sex. But of course, you might be thinking, wait, it's totally possible for a woman to be both a leader and a wife, but please trust Ms. Venker when she says it's absolutely not. This attitude of leadership may get women ahead at work, says Venker, but when it comes to love, it will land them in a ditch. Don't ask what the hell attitude of leadership is supposed to mean. Just go with her on this one. Work skills are the opposite.
And this is why, at the end of the day, I mean, honestly, this is why I strive for balance, because you can't be both. And a lot of people are, I don't mean to be mean, but one-dimensional at the end of the day. But that's why you got to learn the other skills, which is a skill set learning that if the woman wants to become more of a wife, if she's good at her work, she needs to put that aside and work on her, as they say, soft skills. Being more respectable, being kind, saying that, try not to get over on somebody. What you do in the workplace is not what you do with your husband. And the same vice versa for the men too, at the end of the day. And so this is why we got to be careful. This is why we got to pay attention to what we're doing and what we're saying, because it matters. And I'm going to end the video right here. And this is my first relationship series videos on how does it affect financials and money and how it plays a part. I hope you guys like it. If you like it, put a thumbs up and a comment to say I like this series. And if you want to watch my next video where I react to this financial advisor, where if I agree with this advice or not, watch the video up here.